Well, hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. This is Miss B, Positively Miss B, with Chris Allen on Issues of Men. You can find us here every Wednesday. Day is Wednesday, right? Okay, never mind. Live every Wednesday, 7 p.m. East Coast time. Issues of Men, Storm Talk 365. Hey, Chris.
How you doing this evening?
I good and just couldn't remember what day it was, even though I know it come on every Wednesday. I don't know. That was a blue pill moment. But again, if this is your first time joining me, this is Miss B, Positively Miss B. I am the CEO of Storm Talk 365 Radio, where myself and our other podcasters help you to talk to the storms in your life. You can find us at www.stormtalk365radio.com, iHeart, iTunes, Spotify, and many more. I'm also the CEO of Storm Radio 24/7, where we're talking about business, entertainment, arts, and much, much more. But tonight we have Chris Allen with us talking about issues of men. What are we going to talk about tonight, Chris?
We are talking about running away from yourself.
What?
Yes.
No, we don't do that. Not especially as men. No.
Nah, we ain't supposed to.
Okay,
But
well, I, let's talk about that. Run. How did you come up with that topic?
um, there was many times in my life that I can tell you that I ran away from the truth. I ran away from what I was feeling, and there were some consequences behind that. And I was like, I wanted to, and I know a lot of us as men, a lot of us as women, are running away from ourselves. And what I mean by when we talk about we're running away from ourselves, that means that we may not be ready to stand up. We may not be ready to face, address, or cope with, our present living conditions, our responsibilities, our traumas, large or small, our behaviors, our pain, our disappointments, our guilt, our fears, our shame, problems, our stresses, you know, and just becoming an adult, facing
Uh-oh.
reality, facing reality, right?
Mm-hmm. Becoming
So,
an adult. Do we ever really arrive at that stage? We just get older. Do we ever really become an adult? I don't know.
I guess if I wouldn't even know how to fathom what an adult is because that changes so much depending on the era and the trends and everything else. So that one I'm going to leave alone. But Miss B, technically, I was looking at this. I was like, you can't run away from your physical body while you're awake or while you're living, right? So I was like, and you can't hide or run from your shadow. But one thing that I do remember, it was Naughty by Nature's lyrics in Uptown Anthem. And those lyrics said, no matter where you are, it says, no matter where you go, there you are. I was like, that's fire right there.
Boom, baby.
Boom. And it's true. No matter where you go, there you are. So you can travel, um, you can go to different places, you can move to different cities, you can do all that, but you can't run from yourself. You can't run from who you are. You can't run from your problems because they'll always find you. It's just like that shadow. You can never get rid of your shadow. Um, but I also said to Miss B, I was like, we human beings and we figure everything out, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh,
So, yeah, we figure it's supposed to. We both figure everything out. So again, we avoid, we mask, we lie, we suppress what we don't like or don't want to do, right?
mm-hmm.
And so the other part of this we come into, so we escape to our cell phones. We sleep too much. Uh, we escape into our work, our video games, escape into drugs, um, websites, porn, social media, endless scrolling, and I see those on social media. Like you can do what you want, but I said something's going on. When somebody's taking 100 selfies and posting every day, taking selfies and posting and doing all that type of stuff. Um, Meaningless shopping. When people indulge in fake friends and relationships, um, and they're all just excuses and easy distractions um, to keep you from to keep you running, keep you
Mm-hmm.
escaping from dealing with yourself, from running from yourself. So um, I just say, in all the escaping that we do, rest assured that if you the same ills that you're holding on to, the same ills you're suppressing will be there today, they will be there tonight, and they will be there tomorrow, controlling you if you do not deal with your issues constructively and heal internally. Um, and I just say, Miss B, to be honest, our stuff will always be with us, but it's how we mature and manage the stuff uh, that we carry on a daily basis. Now, now I do have to ask you this:
Uh-oh.
can you give an example of a time that you ran away from yourself, and how long did you run away?
You know, everybody wants to write a book, but I believe if it's important enough to tell, then I'm going to tell it. I'm not going to hide anything. At the time that I ran away, I thought I was running away from the situations that I was faced with. I was taking care of my dad, and um, I would stay over there, come home, stay over there, come home. And that created some marital issues. And I just packed up and left. I started driving. I said, oh, I just need to drive. So I started driving down 95 south, and it turned into a 10-day trip. I stopped at every Walmart I could buy something at, and I would change motels, and nobody knew where I was. Um, After 3 days, I told my daughter I'm okay. I told my cousin, go check on my dad. I just ran away. Now, let me tell you why I consider that running away from me. Because as a woman of faith, I found myself sitting on the pier of Virginia Beach at 3 o'clock in the morning and listening to all kinds of gospel songs. But Regina Bell really was the one that got me. I ran away from myself because, as a woman of faith, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. The Bible tells me don't be anxious for nothing. The Bible tells me a whole lot of things, but I wasn't listening to who I was spiritually. I was listening to my emotions and my intellect. And so, my word of encouragement to all of you, when you get into a situation, regardless of what it is, that's why it's important to have a spiritual relationship, because during that 10 days, and I'm being honest, I'm 64 years old, I have nothing to hide. During that 10 days, I wanted to commit suicide. I wanted to commit murder. I wanted to keep going and move to Florida. I mean, a lot of things ran through my mind because I was running from myself. And when I came into myself, I realized there's nothing I can't handle. Those things happen, but they don't define who I am.
Absolutely.
So, to all of you out there, things happen, but don't let them define who you are. And we all have choices of how we respond. So, I know you didn't expect that type of answer, but you asked me, and you know me, Miss B, gonna say,
And like I said, look, it's wonderful. Transparency is the best. Um, and I'm gonna share a couple of examples and some consequences of times that I've run away from myself, my problems, my issues. Um, ever since I mean, from a young age, my biological father I had abandonment issues. So the connection of love and bond that we had was lost between us. I look for those missing, those things. I look for love and I look for all those things in the wrong places. I often escaped into temporary pleasures like abusing alcohol and between women's legs. I ran away. That was a temporary pleasure. It took me away for a few minutes, a few hours, but it always came back. So it made me understand that I couldn't continue to run. I couldn't run. I couldn't put it off on someone else. I had trust issues. So um, even on a insecurity level, I was even at some point in my life, at a young age, I was molested. And so I did that. I
Hold
molested
up.
one woman.
Wait a minute.
Yes,
What'd you say?
molested
Who?
me.
Okay.
But so molested by a woman. Um, so I did things to self sabotage relationships. And because of my inner frequency, I met I met women who would do the same things to me. Like I really wanted to love and I wanted the relationships, but um, I didn't value myself at that point. I didn't value myself enough um, to receive that love and that relationship at that time. So that was just my trust issues. As opposed to speaking out, being accountable, and talking to someone about it or whatever, I was I put it on someone else. I deferred it, which is a way of running away from what I really had to deal with. Um, when I was younger, I was expected to get, all A's. I was expected to graduate in the top percentile of my class. I was expected to go to college and become a scientist, a lawyer, or a doctor, something of that nature. Um, Miss B, I wasn't up to task for that. That's for one. I'm gonna say it wasn't what I really wanted to do. And sometimes when you're being told or you're being forced into making certain decisions, um, I self sabotage myself in that aspect. I could have got straight A's, and I could have gotten certain things right. But what I end up doing, Miss B, is like I got average grades. Um, I did average things. I did some great things, trust me, but I did some average things just to stay out of the running. I didn't want to hear. I didn't want to deal with it anymore. So I lost opportunities for major scholarships. I lost, admittance to universities, upper tier universities. And then when I applied to them, I wasn't eligible to get a full scholarship. I wasn't eligible to get the monies and things that I had to do. Then it would go on my parents. So when I asked it, because I ran from that responsibility, I caused other issues. Um, and I would just say, and I tell this story all the time. It's just like as an adult, I dressed well, I talked well, um, I looked well, but behind closed doors, Miss B, honestly, I was mentally, I was an emotional wreck. I partied and drank all the time. I partied and drank throughout the week. And I'm doing another music tribute this evening. You met the group Arrested Development, Tennessee, that's on Tennessee. Well, I was always in that place to take me to another place, take me to another world. They had a line in there that says something to that nature. And again, that caused me to be late. It caused me no call, no shows. I lost jobs um, because I ran away from myself. I didn't face the responsibilities and the things that I should have done at that time. So it um, took my means away to financially provide for myself. Um, and again, I thought it was just whatever, somebody else's fault. It's just whatever. Ignoring bill collectors, right? Um, Ignoring toxic relationships, ignoring bad people's behaviors, allowing stuff to go on around you that know that you shouldn't allow. Again, these are all forms of running from your problems, running from yourself. Um, just in those situations. And a lot of times, Miss B, when you deal with those type of things, they won't go away. They won't correct themselves, but they won't correct by themselves. So these are some of my examples of quote unquote running away from myself. Um, and I don't know if you can attest to this, but I've also been in a position where um, I had a calling. My calling was of being a service to people, being a support. whether that be humanitarian acts, volunteering in the community, sharing my gifts like speaking, poetry, and things of that nature. Um, Running caused me to become more of this ease. And when I say this ease, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, I became tired. I wore myself out by running away from my calling.
Mm.
Um, and again, those are very challenging places in your life where, look, uh, these are your gifts. This is what God gave you, and He wants you to use them positively. So I felt with that. So would you be able to talk to me, explain to the viewers your experience in running from your calling?
Um, when you said running from my calling, I'm trying not to get teary eyed, but I also considered self sabotage. You can't conquer what you don't confront. And you talked about your experience um, with being molested. And apparently, like with all of us, we have some things in our life that we have not confronted and conquered. And we use self sabotage as our weapon, saying it's somebody else's fault.
Mm-hmm.
In answer to your question, there's so many, 64, I could give you a lot of examples, but I'll just stay current, as current as I can be. Running for my calling. Ever since I can remember, I've always been vocal in helping people. Everybody come to me, even in high school, they would come to me, my girlfriend, my boyfriend, my mama, my daddy, older people would confide in me. And I was just like, okay, why are you just telling me all of this? Oh, Lord, I don't want to hear it. And so fast forward, I left social media for 5 years because it was just too much for me. My parents transitioning, I was just going through a lot and I didn't want to hear anybody else's problems. So with much encouragement, I came back to social media, and here I am. Long story, but here I am with a global podcast network. But I still did not want to do it. It was like, I just want to be left alone. I just want to play with my dogs. Leave me alone. It's just too much. So, in answer to that question, regardless of how much you try to run from it, I'm not going to go super sister Christian on you right now, but you can run, but you can never hide. And what was that quote you said? Wherever you go, there you are. It's not going to leave you alone. It's not. It's going to haunt you. It's going to follow you. You're going to find yourself doing it. That tap on the shoulder. That's right. You know what I'm saying? You can't. And some people, like you said, resort to other things instead of accepting responsibility. I don't want to do this. It's like a bad voice. They drink, they use drugs, anything they want to do to keep from doing what the assignment is. And we all have an assignment. So my answer to your question is yes, I have self-sabotaged even recently. And I've talked to you about some of the things that I allowed to impact me, which um, caused me to move slower than I should be as a CEO, because you have to conquer things and you can't conquer them if you don't confront it. And there were some things in my past, unfortunately. um, my mother loved me, but she was a very insecure person. And it wasn't until she was in her stage of transitioning that she really gave me compliments, because everything was, why you want to do that? Why you want to do that? They're making fools of you, blah, 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 blah. And so I stopped trying. I just couldn't do it anymore. And so now I'm at a stage where God said, someone asked me, um, Ms. B, what are you expecting from God? And I said, nothing. My focus is on what He is expecting from me. What is God expecting from me? He has given me an assignment. He has given me commandments. He's expecting me to live according to how He created me to live. I'm a spirit being having a human experience. I have all power and authority. There's nothing I can't do. So I'm not expecting anything from him. He's given me everything. I just have to walk in it. So that's my answer to your question.
You know, I definitely have to consider that more. Um, that what is he expecting of me? I think I figured that out because it's in my whole being. Can't get rid of it. No matter what I do, it's there. So definitely needed to go ahead and move forward with it. Thus, I'm here today and everything that I'm doing. But even with that said, um, there was a time that I had to wake up to that. There was a time of being accountable. Um, and sometimes you'll keep going around that, what you call that,
Mulberry Bush.
you can go around the mulberry bush, and you'll be on that wheel, like the mouse
Hamster
doing
wheel.
the hamster wheel, and you'll be in some mazes that got no way out. And the only way you're getting out is when that realization comes and doors and things will open for you. Um, so with that being said, I want people those who are going through this to this day, why are you going through the issues and things that you're going through? And they don't seem to go anywhere, no matter what you do. First, I think with just becoming accountable, it's very important that you ask yourself why that you're running away from yourself to get a better understanding um, of what it is that's causing you to be in fear, to be scared, um, be afraid to move forward, or take that stance in your life to become a better you. Um, I would just say, also suggest, talk. If you can't talk to anybody you close to, you don't want them to know your business. You private like that. Talk to a stranger.
Oh, you better say something.
Talk to a stranger.
Been there,
Um,
done that, love that.
and I think one of the things that when people are trying to do these self awareness and these sessions and things of that nature, I think they're afraid of what they're going to find. I think they're afraid of the answers that they're going to have. But I would say that once you recognize and define that problem, um, and have that self acceptance of you, love yourself, um, things will begin to change right away, in my opinion. And also, again, just being aware of your problems and what's going on, it will help you to begin your work towards addressing and healing. I just say as well, trust the process.
Mm.
It's going to get better. You might feel bad initially, but it all goes away. Trust the process. Um, did you have any encouraging words that you would like to address or making someone be accountable of stop running away from themselves?
I like what you said, trust the process. But even now, I have some things that I'm trying to confront and conquer because, we have been conditioned, unfortunately, um, by loved ones, by society, to run from responsibilities. No matter how successful a person may look, they are running from something. They have something, and sometimes there's no balance. They call it compulsive behavior, which means they're running from something. They're focusing on something more than they should because there's something they don't want to handle, something that's happened. So, my word of encouragement for that is my biggest accountability partner um, is my creator, who I believe and who I serve. But I've always said you can't conquer what you don't confront. And the first thing you need to do is look in the mirror and say, what is the why behind my what? Why am I behaving this way? Why am I making these choices? Why is it that it seems like I can't pull myself out? There's a why. Um, I know some of my whys. You've mentioned something that could be your why for self sabotaging, but there's a why behind our behavior. And no matter how painful it is to face it, the freedom once you face it is amazing. So, my encouragement to you is trust the process. It's not, I'm going to stop saying that. How long it takes you to survive the what that's causing your why is a choice. There are some people who can say, you know what, I'm not gonna smoke another cigarette, and they don't. I'm not gonna take another drink, and they don't. There are people who go back and forth. Once you confront your weaknesses, then you have made a statement that you are in control. So my encouragement is, what is your why behind the what? Why are you running from this and that? Why are you overcompensating, working 24 hours a day and your bank account is busted, but yet you can't seem to stop working? Is because something is keeping you from feeling fulfilled. So if you feel yourself being overcompensating in something, that's wrong. And then in my case, it's systemic because it's on both sides of my biological families, but um, you could say depression is a spirit, whatever you want to say, but we have choices. And you can wake up and say, you know what? One step at a time. I'm going to take a bath every day. I'm going to comb my hair every day. I'm going to go for a walk every day, because it's a choice. And you have to stop giving things control in your life and take control. Find out what your what is behind your why and move forward.
And with that said, and with that being said, Miss B, my final thought for this evening is: I look at when you run from your problems or you run from yourself, and you're doing all the things that you're doing to accomplish this. I think the easiest analogy I could probably come up with is that, if you run and hide from the big bad bully every day, he's always going to find you. You're always going to run into him at some point in time, and that thing is going to be there and beat you down for the rest of your life until you confront and overcome your bully of bullies, just as you said. Um, and that's just the only way to address it and conquer it. Get over it. You know what it is, and you know what it's causing you. I definitely don't want to keep going around in that circle over and over and over again, feeling the same, going through the same things. Um, so with that being said, Miss B, my episode for next week, episode 10 of next week's topic of discussion is first impressions, awards, consequences, love, love it or leave it, and it's going to be how men are processing first impressions, how we respond to it, and what we do with first impressions. Um, I do want to give a shout out to Derek Hall. Derek will be on the show with me next week to talk about this topic. This is his topic that he wanted me to discuss, and I was like, I said, that's interesting. I haven't thought about it in a long time, so it like it brought a lot of nostalgia, a lot of things. I'm like, okay, yeah, I remember this. I did that when talking about first impressions. And again, to become a guest on the show, to provide a topic for the show, you may contact me at issuesofmen@gmail.com. In the subject box, you can put your title, and also just put a small summary of what it is in the email and send it to me with your name and contact information, and I'll definitely get back to you in regards to that. Um, and with that being said, Ms. B, oh, if you want to find out more about author Chris Allen, go to www.authorchrisallen.com. You find everything about my books. Working on a new apparel line, working on workshops, everything that you can imagine dealing with publishing services and mentoring is going to be on that website. So just look forward to the changes coming soon. Um, and again, Ms. B, thank you for allowing me to be a part of the platform. And thank you so much.
And he's going to be on my other network, Storm Radio 24/7, starting next month, the first Monday of every month, 7 p.m. Becoming an Author 101. That's right, Becoming an Author 101, where he'll be giving tips and all such stuff on becoming an author. We'll be talking about his book more, what motivated him to write the book. we're just going to be covering a lot of things. That's stormradio247.com. You can find him every Monday evening at 7 p.m., first Monday of every month, Becoming an Author 101. Right, Chris?
Absolutely. And I also wanted to, I don't know, I didn't mention this before. Um, for all the viewers who are watching, you may also, I'm uploading videos, Issues of Men on YouTube as well. So just expanding, trying to get some things accomplished and taken care of, but you'll also be able to find them there if you were not able to connect or watch the show directly or see them on Facebook as well in the afterplay.
Well, all right. I really appreciate you interacting with me doing the podcast. This is a podcast. You can hear us on iHeart, iTunes, Spotify, many more. My main platform is Spreaker.com. But if you're not interested in sitting around listening to videos, you can listen to all of his podcasts right there under Conversations with Miss B on iHeart, iTunes, Spotify, and you could just play them back to back. They're available for download and on-demand listening. But again, next month, starting Monday at 7 p.m., please join him, Becoming an Author 101. And you'll be hearing from him more on Storm Talk 365 and Storm Radio 24/7 as our relationship grows. So thanks you again so much for watching, listening, wherever you are. We just want to say thank you, because without you, we wouldn't have an audience. All right, everybody. Talk to you next Wednesday, 7 p.m. East Coast time. Issues of Men. And remember, you can't conquer what you don't confront. All right, everybody. Have a blessed night.
Good night.